Around the world right now, passports are getting ready and travel bags are being packed because in just 1 week from now, the absolute creme de la creme of the One Loft world will be descending upon Cape Town, the mother city, for the 2025 AFRIKAPRO Grand Finale. But we're going to be focusing on today, the penultimate race of the season. We're looking at another 508 kilometers of African skies. Hendrik, like we know that AFRIKAPRO is about consecutive racing. It's a series and a total of 10 series, right? 10 races in a series. But just last week, and specifically last week Friday, we went through 480 kilometers with our avian friends.
Yes.
This week we're going 508 kilometers, and for the grand finale, another 601 kilometers. Honestly, is this not a bit too strenuous for the birds?
Khotso, fair question. Yeah, yes, we gave it a lot of thought and we actually published a program already a year ago. To repeat it, first of all our fans know what they're in for. And as AFRIKAPRO, we have to prepare for that.
Right.
And I can say today with confidence the pigeons are in top form. And the Tour de France, once again, is a classical example for that. Average cyclist can't go out there and cycle all those kilometers day after day.
Right.
They will fall out.
Right.
But in AFRIKAPRO, our pigeons are in top form, and we're confident they can do it. We're going to have a look at today's returns and see if they pull it off, and of course also for the final. And that is what's so unique for us, for our race. We really feel we got to crown the true genetics, the best fans, the best pigeons that come out to the top. Yeah.
Right. I know you're big on your returns, but let's talk about our endurance birds, our endurance winners, and very specifically last week's race winner. Absolutely amazing bird called Salvarose.
Yes. That's exactly a classical example. What we really exactly want to achieve in AFRIKAPRO is to point out in the world, but one of the best pigeons out there can be an unknown name even.
Right.
And with our concept, we just basically flag those pigeons for the world out there.
Right.
Salvarose, a beautiful story. AFRIKAPRO have so far up till now 8 races. The 3 toughest races, all 3 of them were below, it's a 1200 velocities.
Sure.
And see, we're equal winner on all 3 of those.
Right.
So very curious to see how's he going
amazing.
to do today. Currently leading the brown jacket, winning the race last week. And let's see how it's going to unfold in the final. But that is the type of things what we after. Is
right.
That pigeons for sure is world class, and that can handle all these consecutive races with these high kilometers.
Well, I'd love to hear your predictions on what Salvarose is going to do today. But talking about today's weather conditions, what was that like?
Yeah, today's radio, again, a perfect race day.
Right.
Out of Bloemfontein,
Yes.
508 kilometers far down in the south. And this morning, spoke to Ron, a little breeze, a
Right,
headwind
right.
in the morning, northwesty, so a bit on the left shoulder.
Sure.
And but the weather forecast predicted that will turn down, and it later after Kroonstad area, from Kroonstad to Pretoria area for that,
Right.
from 200 kilometers to 300 kilometer mark, that will be even turn into a slight tailwind, a light breeze from the back then.
Right.
And then the second part is all just no wind. It's
Right.
just basically beautiful clear skies and fantastic race day.
Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are all looking forward to that 508 kilometers. So from us and the Versalaga semi-final, good luck to everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Let's go over to Ruan for liberation.
Good morning from race 9, 508 kilometers. A beautiful morning. No wind at the liberation point. The pigeons have eaten yesterday very well on the truck. They drink a lot of water and they are race ready for today. I would like to wish everyone the best of success for race 9. This year we have a 10-week consecutive racing series, and the pigeons must complete 3,700 kilometers, and we believe that the only way to do this is with the best food sources in the world, and that is why we use natural lager. Fantastic food, it helps the pigeons to recover very fast, and it's effective on the performance of the bird.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the Versalager Africa Pro semi-finals, and a big thank you to our sponsor Versalager for providing the ideal pills which helps in recovery for our birds after a very, very tough race. Now we're looking forward to a very, very amazing race, Hendrik. Another 508 kilometers. What do you predict for this one?
So it's going to be a nice race. That's long distance.
Right.
508 kilometers is about 500 of course. But even last week, the 480 was already very tough. As you can see, the race will take place straight out of Bloemfontein this morning. And 13 kilometer northwesterly wind, so in the left shoulder of the pigeons at point of liberation was already 17 degrees Celsius, with liberation 6:15 this morning. Soon into the race, 200 kilometers into the race, you will see the wind is also still a bit from the west, only 10 kilometers come a bit down, but then by halfway mark, we sit with a light breeze from the back, 400 kilometers up till Pretoria area, but that whole second part of the race, there is no wind, and the pigeons just have to come through. So I think it's going to be a very good race that's going to show and flag us the good pigeons that can fly in the front on this long distance. Yeah.
Oh, certainly looking forward to it. But before that, we're all excited about this now. We're talking 1 week away, just 1 week away from the finals, the grand finale in Cape Town, and we're all looking forward to what's going to happen. So once again, everybody, make sure that you are ready. Those passports need to be ready, travel bags packed. We're all going to be congregating in the mother city, Cape Town. So let's take a look at what to expect. That's something we should all be looking forward to. But guys, do remember, after the race, the very, very next day is the prize giving. That's where we give away and we celebrate the absolute best of the One Loft world. And then we have the infamous auction, Hendrik, which is very, very important, of course. And there's a few things that are very, very important that our race director would like to tell you about the auction after. But for now, we'd like to invite all South Africans, especially if you're in Cape Town, to come through for the prize giving. The award ceremony is going to be absolutely amazing. You're going to get to rub shoulders with the best in the One Loft world.
Yeah, I spoke last night to Alphonse Klaas as well. He's already in South Africa. He just
wow.
arrived. Yeah. So
welcome,
you must
sir.
look out. So very looking forward to him as well. Jan Weymans, I think soon he will also take. And there's a lot of big fancies, and I know our local South African fans respect them a lot for who they are and for what they've done for the sport.
Yes,
particularly because their bloodlines is running very thick in all the bloods of these pigeons. They're doing so good here in Africa Pro. And they're also respected participants of Africa Pro.
And talking about bloodlines, of course, we'd like to prompt you, please, to remember to register your pedigrees. You don't have much time left, but it's very, very important that you do so. Race director, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, please. We need pedigrees on each and every pigeon profile. Just for those people that are concerned, what if your pigeon stray and you come back to Africa Pro? Our system will automatically, if your pigeon don't clock today or whenever throughout the season, your pedigree get automatically removed out of the system. No one can receive a strained pigeon and then sit with the pedigree because it was on a website. So just for your peace in mind, it's very important to load your pedigree for 2 reasons. We're about now to load the top 5 best pigeons, or we're going to call it the Big 5 auction.
Right.
On a grand finale, on the prize giving, we're going to have the Big 5 auction.
Yes.
So out of that, we want to take just the very, very best quality. And we need pedigrees for such auction.
Right.
And our terms and conditions is very clear about it. And that is actually international standard. Your pedigrees had to be uploaded at least by the time of the final.
Sure.
If you ask me, I much more prefer that your pedigrees are before the series even start. And I probably will implement it within a year or 2. Reason why, we can commentate on your pigeons much more accurate, and your story carry much more weight if you have a pedigree.
Certainly.
Otherwise, we just deal with a name, perhaps your team name. But if the moment there's a pedigree, we have a beautiful reference of your story that comes for generations. And then we can see how successful you are a fancier. And that is just to promote yourself. AFRIKAPRO is there to promote our fanciers and the pigeons that are doing so well, that deserve to do so well, and to deserve to be excelled, to be promoted.
Oh, yes, indeed. It is all about pedigree and, of course, genetics. And talking about genetics, we are now in the endurance series of the endurance part of the series, and of course the penultimate race. We're now looking at 508 kilometers ahead of us. What's any names, any big names that we should be looking out for? I know we already mentioned Salvo Rose.
Yeah. Salvo Rose will stick. I'm very curious to see what's he going to do in today's race. But first of all, maybe we can ask our participants in social media, Nana, to start thinking what you think the velocity will be.
Yes, indeed.
But so we want to encourage all participants to predict your velocity. And Salvo Rose so far on the 3 shortest races of this year so far, which is 1200 velocities. See, we're equal winner on all of that. So maybe we can have a quick look at we would like everyone to like and subscribe on our Facebook page as well. And perhaps tell us on social media, what is your velocity and from which country?
Yeah.
From which country are you viewing
this
race today? And we were going to give away a single bird free entry as well, again this week, and perhaps for the final as well. So the invitation is there for everyone, for the fancier that can predict today's velocity, get the closest to that velocity. We're going to give a free entry away for the fancier that predict that the best.
Yeah, the race director certainly is feeling generous. But let's take a look at the black jacket rankings thus far. Starting from the bottom, position number 10, we've got the well-known Kings and Hey Slow. Number 10 and number 9, the Pretoria Rebels, representing the capital city. And number 8, Belga, Detlefs and Duprier.
Yeah, in 7th position, we've got Pigeon Palace 2 as well. So that is basically 2 teams from Kings and Hey Slow, if you can put it in that regard, out of the same breeding facility. And Mountain Loft and Murray, the second team of them. So they entered 2 teams this year into the AFRIKAPRO. They put both up in the top 6 rankings. What a phenomenal performance after almost 3,000 kimeters.
Absolutely.
So they put themselves into that position. Feather Loft in the 5th position. That was also, they were second in the final back in 2023. And there we see the name up there. Hans-Paul Esser for Sheer Loft in the 4th position from Germany, and we're going to see them soon as well in the final. Harry Wilson, Kruger and Schellenbusch in the 3rd position, and they stay out there. Those top 3 guys just remain in that position last week, and I'm very curious to see if they can, on this longer race, 508 kilometers today, can stay in the top 3 rankings. The Alwyn Bester and Mountain Loft's second team, and Murray and Mills, RKS team A in the 1st position, and they've been there now for a few consecutive weeks.
Great consistency there from the top 3. And now let's take a look at the blue jacket ranking, starting once again from the 10th position. We've got Belga, Ditjes and Duprier. And in position 9, no stranger to the top 10s, we have Gannis Family Loft. And in 8th position, once again, Pigeon Palace showing up.
Yeah, so again, that is the pigeons that put those teams up on top there. But in a blue jacket, we have single bird entries as well. Every single pigeon, even if it's an unpaid pigeon, participate in the Ace Pigeon ranking. So every single pigeon that arrives at AFRIKAPRO in the beginning of the season, regardless if you pay or not, will participate in the blue jacket, brown jacket, and the green jacket competition. So this is the ultimate Ace Pigeon competition, what we see in front of us. And there we got Bert and Andreas first time ever entering Africa Pro, and they showed the world they got a pigeons.
Debutants.
Well done to them. And Team de Weert, Dr. Henk de Weert, leading the Blue Jacket after race 9 a year ago, and today he positioned himself already in a 6th position again. And I reckon that's a better position to be in, because it's nicer to climb than to fall. Because if you're on a very top where RMG single is today, they can only go one way, and that's down.
You can go up in their backs.
Yes, and then Burger and Crucial with the beautiful pigeon Victoria.
Yes.
Is currently in a 5th position. Ace pigeon, well on to Team Germany there. And Belga Detlefs, the Prius, 2nd pigeon out of the same team. Untouchable in a 4th position. There's also no new name for Africa Pro to have those names up in the Blue Jacket rankings. Wilson, Kruger and Stellenbosch, again 3rd position. Webster Loft.
Yeah.
We're leading also the Blue Jacket back in 2023 by the race going into the final. With Gamebreaker boss at that time. And today it is fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press.
In the 2nd position. I spoke to him earlier this week, and he said for him it's much better to be in a 2nd position than the 3rd, going to the final.
Right.
So because at least you can still climbing one position up. RMG leading currently today. Blue Jacket, they moved into the 1st position last week. A phenomenal race. It was a tough race on 480, slow velocity, and that caused it. Royal Lily moving up to the 1st position. And today, currently the very best pigeon as things standing right now in Africa Pro.
Indeed. Well done to Royal Lily, looking amazing. Henrik, would you like to take a look at perhaps the map route for today's race?
Yeah, for the weather, perhaps for those fancies that, here's just a view of what our windy forecast gave us this morning. As I mentioned before, Juan mentioned it was a light headwind on the left shoulder earlier this morning. It was like 10, 12 kilometers an hour.
Right.
As you can see here, the far south bottom point is Bloemfontein. And but soon, as you can see now, as the time ticks on, that it actually changed a little bit, and the wind turns more westerly later, and then we have actually almost to the front upper part, it become almost a tailwind here from Carltonville area, if I can show you in this area. So slight tailwind to the middle section, but not really serious. Right. So, and then that's actually and here's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock where the pigeons was flying now, Carltonville there. And you can clearly see here to the second part of the race, there's hardly any wind. The wind we see there, it is slightly west, mainly predominantly throughout this day. But I think it's what we can call a fair race. That's the best summary I can give for these conditions.
Now, let's talk about your returns for last week, Henrik. I know that Africa Pro prides itself in its very, very high returns. I think that's what sets itself apart from other one-loft races. What was last week's return like?
Yeah, we had a 90% return again last week, which we're very satisfied with. For me and Ron, it's not all just about the returns, yes. To be honest. For us, it's about a follow-up. So we will first look at how many pigeons arrived within the first 10 minutes. And then first 20 minutes and a half hour and so on.
Right.
And that will clearly tell us what is the pigeons in top form.
Right.
And that gives us the confidence, yes, that we can race these distances which we spoke earlier about. So it's all about the follow-up, and we're working on a percentage of follow-up within those things. And we take it race after race. And I can even, looking at all other one-lofts across the world, if I have a quick glimpse at the follow-up on the results, I can tell if those fancies or teams or any one loft in the world is ready for a big final of 600 kilometers or so. Yeah. So it's about follow-up for us, and we're very satisfied. Last week it was 90%.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Oh, good numbers there. I can see we've got some great activity on our Facebook page. Peter de Beer, welcome again, Peter. We'd love to see you week after week. We will take a look at your velocity again. We've got Neil Murgatroyd as well. Neil, we'll see you again. And Andre Meyer saying a velocity of 1,333.
Oh, Ricardo, he's also coming soon. I'm going to see him here in Cape Town. He just booked his flight ticket last week as well.
Looking forward to
this
you,
week,
Ricardo.
And he and Leanne, pleasant people there in Netherlands. The first time they're going to come to our final this year.
Oh, they are absolutely going to enjoy it. I mean, it's not just the final that they're coming to, Henrik. They're also coming to the farm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so we're going to do the basketing
Oh,
here
man.
on Pala Pala next
Yes.
to the big AFRIKAPRO loft, and after that we're going to do a nice dancing with fire, bush braai in the African bush.
My goodness, that in true AFRIKAPRO style, whoever's coming to the farm and whoever's going to Cape Town is going to have the most amazing Cape Town and South African experience.
Yeah. So the velocity right now is a 1450. We'll be curious to see what everyone predict. So please participate in our single bird entry competition, where you can win a free single bird entry by just predicting the velocity, what you think today's velocity on the 508 semi-final will be.
Yes, and maybe just along that, right on the side of your velocity, also just say where you're watching from, which part of the world you're watching from. You're watching from Germany, Belgium, whether it's South Africa, it doesn't really matter. Please just make sure you put it down there. We love to see where you're watching from as well, as the sport is growing, and of course it's very, very dear to you guys as well. Thank you so much for the interaction on Facebook. Please remember to go onto our Facebook AFRIKAPRO pages. There we can have a conversation. And of course, you can also ask us questions, guys. I'm sitting beside the brain of One Lost Racing, race director Hendrik. And I think no better person to ask for that insight, especially if you're looking forward to taking part in next season's races. I think he's the best person to actually sit down and have conversation with. I know he's very, very busy, so this is the best time to take advantage and send your questions as well as where you're watching from. So we have Henko Pretorius saying 1385. Aga Wahab, I wonder where Aga is from. Please write where you're from as well. Aga says 1492. And James Hunter says the winning velocity is 1290. James Hunter there. Hey, James. So I wonder, we are recording, our team is recording those entries, those velocity entries, and at the end of the show we'll decide, and we'll see, actually not decide, but we'll see who comes closest to the winning velocity, and that person will be granted, courtesy of AFRIKAPRO, a one free bird entry. Absolutely amazing, and if you do the calculations, it's quite valuable as well. So please do keep on commenting on Facebook with the winning velocity, where you're watching from as well, and any questions that you might have for the brain of One Lost Racing. You can call me Pinky, but he's definitely the brain. All right, so I'm here with my race director, and I'm wondering, Hendrik is quite engaged in his standings right now, and I always love to pick what's running through his brain over there. So, Hendrik, what are you looking at over there on your screen?
Goto, I actually, the favorite place for me always to hang out is on the AFRIKAPRO website on the rankings, because I look at all different forms of stats and I can talk for days. Please don't give me the gap to start talking about what I try to read into it. Right now, I was just by coincidence opening on last week's Fancy of the Race results. maybe we can just show there. That was the fanciest who was most consistent last week. So
Yes.
Mark de Kock and friends,
Yes.
he made a very big impact last week on a 480 kilometers, very tough race with a 1200 velocity. And he was the most consistent with the first two pigeons in front there. And then Hans-Paul Esser and Fusilofs as well from Germany. Loft Ankammer, no new name for the top rankings, winning the car last year as well. And Jurgen Loft winning the final. Nels Gerdeman being a black jacket leader,
Yes.
being very good in the preseason and throughout our AFRIKAPRO season so far this year. Jort Batenburg, as we can see, this pigeons NLBE, born and bred there in the Netherlands, doing very good. Valja Rossen, black jacket current leader,
Yes,
raiding champion. TNT, that was the fanciest that he start going into form.
Right.
End of the season, second half of the season, where it matters most, the long distances. And look at it, TNT last year, he came from way at the bottom. His pigeon was ranked 199 in Nickman, eh? And then that pigeon shoot up to the first position, brown jacket, second blue jacket, ace pigeon.
Incredible.
That was from TNT. And now when it was tough and long, then you start seeing TNT's name. And it's the same, very same thing was applying to, if you go back into the history of, let's say, blue jacket. There you see, for example, RMG singles leading the blue jacket right now. Websterloff second. Websterloff always feature the second part of the season. Never before race 7 you will see that name. Coming race 7, long distances, then he start moving up in the top rankings of blue jacket. And for the last 3 consecutive years, he's up in the top 10 rankings. RMG every single year, he have a pigeon in the ace pigeon rankings, top 10.
Yes.
So there is today in the first position. So there's so much interest stuff. But perhaps on a different note, what I want to encourage so many people as well is sometimes what I do is I type, for example, let's say we take a black jacket leader, and then he's there in the front. Then in the beginning when we started the concept of AFRIKAPRO, we was actually wondering, should we wait for the first 2 pigeons or first 3 pigeons? How many pigeons should we wait for and accumulate that time?
Right, yes.
I got to learn in AFRIKAPRO, if you want to do good in the black jacket rankings, you got to have a whole big team.
Right.
That is very consistent.
Right.
Now, we can go back. My point I tried to say here, regardless if we take the first 2 pigeons or first 3 pigeons, if you take an example of any of those top 4 or 5 names, and you type in just the name here in the search menu bar, there in the top, and in this case it will say, for example, mountain.
I think where you're going with, I know.
And then you go and click on, say, for example, race 8.
There we go.
There you can see on the right hand side how many pigeons they clock in the above 1100 velocity on a tough race, and the consistency. So that tells me, but that entire team percentage wise on how they return, it's not about just these first 2 pigeons. Even if they sometimes they also activate wrongly, and then even if they activate wrong, the other next pigeon that wasn't activated is there in the top ranking. So there's so much to read and learn into the website when doing all these things out. So no, I love spending time there.
No, great insight on the pedigrees as well. Just the consistency. I think that's the name of the game when it comes to the finals races of the series. Just the consistency, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing the brown jacket standings as well. But for now, we had Gretchen. Oh, we've got Peter De Beer again. He says Hans-Paul Esser climbing to second. Okay, great. Some great confidence there in his compatriots.
Hans-Paul Esser last year in race 9, he was climbing to 5th, going into the black jacket. 5th black jacket reading after standings going into the final. And I hope they can stay in that position and even doing better.
Right. social media drive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we are all sitting on the edge of our seats, eagerly waiting and watching those African skies for the first flock of birds as we eagerly anticipate the landing. Oh, and it's Henrik. Sure, what a series it's been. Extremely exciting. We've gone through 8 races. We're now at the ninth race, our penultimate race. And speaking to you earlier on, I could just tell how invested you were and how tense things are getting. And I think immediately I also felt it in the air. It's how much it means for you yourself, and definitely how much it means for the guys sitting at home and watching.
Ja, goed, so this is the time of the year where you can't help. We know we need to be reserved with our emotions.
Yes.
And with you've got to train your own mind, your brain, to not get overexcited, and particularly if you're on the top rankings. I can't put myself in the shoes of, like, for example, a black jacket leader currently, or a blue jacket leader, or
It's
black
crazy.
jacket. Any of those leaders of these rankings that come for such a long way.
Yes.
And now it's make or break.
Right.
And you can, particularly if you're even in a leading position, you can only go one way, as I mentioned before, you can drop. And those things bring out the emotions.
Yes.
Sometimes you cry in front of people, sometimes you lay in the bed at night and can't sleep and cry about it. And it's now from now on, it's like every single day your mind is just glued to that. You just think for it. And we've got to remember this is a level where people and our participants, all the glory to them. It's not just now, but this second, what we're waiting here for, the big moment. And next week when we all sit there in vergeleeg and
Yes.
glued to the screen
Right.
and see for a moment of truth. It comes actually a long way. As I travel across the world, it's unbelievable how many people follow AFRIKAPRO,
Yes.
millions, and that the plans they come up with, the strategies, what to breed, and
Right.
the deep questions they ask, and relevant questions. And every year we get wiser and wiser, and what advice also to give. But then to the end of the day, to see how everything play out.
Yes.
It is so nice, but very intense.
Right. I think we all owe it to, or we owe a large part of it to our sponsors. So once again, a huge thank you to our sponsors as we lead up to the grand finale. And of course, we have today is the Versalaga semi-final, and we'd like to say a huge thank you to Versalaga for providing the ideal pills for great recovery for our avian athletes, especially after a very, very tough race. And of course, Ruan will speak very, very highly of Versalaga as well, and Versalaga product, as he's the one who's in charge. He's the loft manager who's in charge of recuperating the birds, making sure they recover aptly and just in time for the very next race. So well done to Ruan as well and his team. We will be meeting him as well as the team next week in Cape Town. So more than just fanciers that we're looking forward to meet, but the actual guys on the ground who feed the birds every single day, who make sure they're well hydrated, and who are taking them on their practice flights. I wouldn't say practice runs, more like practice flights or their throws. So yeah, man, looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. We can just say big thank you to our sponsors as well. Without them, this beautiful race wouldn't be possible. And in particular also without our participants and our fans.
Of course.
We all love the sport dearly, and we take it every year to higher heights, and we have great anticipations or expectations where we're going to take the sport of pigeon racing. I see a bright future for it, and particularly for one love racing.
Yes. Henrik, I want to know now, I want to put you on the spot. Over the past 8 races, has there been one specific moment that has really, really stood out for you off the top of your head?
No, now my focus will be Salva Rose. I want to check how he's going to do today. I know last week was a very tough race, was the longest races.
Yes.
This long races is what matters most.
Right.
And so that pigeon won 3 times equal winner, 3 slowest velocities so far for the season.
Sure. Yeah.
Now it's still 2 races to go, which one of them is today. And it's the 2 longest races.
Right.
And then also to look at other pigeons, is to see what Triple X Factor that was doing good in the beginning of the season, was that doing? What is the team van Os pigeon doing?
Right.
So there's always many things that jump to mind. RMG, will they keep their position? And then also there was no changes in top 3 ranking last week on Black Jacket. Will that remain the same for today on a 508? Will that remain the same for the final when it's
Right,
601?
right.
And if that means they deserve to be up there.
No.
There's a saying in South Africa, our international team on rugby is the Springboks. They're actually doing very good currently. We're very
Yes,
proud
we
of
did
them.
really well.
But there was a saying for some of the Springers in the Springbok camp, it's easy to become a Springbok, but to stay there,
Yes,
that's the
indeed.
challenge. And
Indeed.
I think it's with all the sports like that. That takes a lot of grit. Let's take any sport. To stay on the top, that gives you the true, make you a legend and the true respect. And that is now what I'm very curious to see how the black jacket will unfold.
Right.
Those people can stay out there when
Right.
it is long, like what we see today, when it's tough, when there's a bit of a headwind here and there. Yeah. For those fanciers that want to participate next year, we're going to only accept 3,500 pigeons for next year. For Africa Pro, it's really not about the numbers. It's for us all about quality. So if you send your very 5 best pigeons that you plan and have a strategy for, there's your shipping dates. And we want to please advise you to talk to our agents. 10th of October will be our second shipping date. The first shipment is already in. Those pigeons is coming. And there we saw how good our overseas participants done from Europe last week. Mark de Kock, he's now winning last week's race. I wonder how they're going to do today, how the fancy of the race competition will look
keeping
today.
an eye out on him.
Yeah, and Hans-Paul Esse as well, just as good. Even big names like Jörg Bartenberg, very good race last week as well. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to do today and on the final. And it's all starts with the planning of the shipping date.
Right, right. Now, taking a look at velocity over there, we're looking at a sub 1400s. Henrik, what's that indicating for you?
Yeah, so that is already now for me a fair race. What people also should remember in one-off racing, the average velocity is tend to be a little bit faster than what you will have in club racing.
Right.
Because in club racing, you deal to an extent a little bit with some pigeons that fly a slight door clip because they're in a big pack and they had to break out of that pack. But that doesn't mean they break out with 100% straight line.
Right.
In one-off race, all these pigeons is really from the start to the end flying in one groups, and it's basically like almost in a sausage.
Sure.
And they just fall out and as they can't keep up. But that resulted in on a wind still day, you will find that our one-off race average velocity or velocity winning is a little faster than on the same wind still day in the club, like in Pretoria.
Right.
So for me, what I see in front of me, a 1370 velocity, already put it in a nice challenge. It's a nice race out there. It's a fair race. It's also a decent challenge for just going into the final as well. What first priority for us will be after the pigeons arrive today. We'll see in which form they are, but it's to recover them. All our focus will be now, as we speak, move to the final now. After these pigeons arrive today, is to get them ready for next week, Friday.
Yes, no, certainly did. I can see some of our Facebook comments talking about our sponsors, Versalaga, and just giving them their roses.
Team van Os, move up on a grid again. There's Belga Pigeon Love, 1,368. Wish all best of luck from Belgium. Jan van Heerden, 1,200 velocity.
Henrik, these are the moments that really, really count. It's now a game of seconds and milliseconds between the birds. So I can only imagine what the fanciers are feeling like at home right now. But raising our mood is Neil Murgatroyd say Triple L wishful thinking.
He won the competition last week, ne? Yeah.
I love the cheekiness.
I love to see our big fans that follow the race every week. The
Yes.
same names and yeah. There's Peter de Beer. I love his profile picture. Black jacket leader, Velga de Pre and Dietlefs. RMG single, blue jacket, 13 velocity. So you give a velocity on a blue jacket there for us. 1336. The blue jacket, Alvin Bester. So according to them, Alvin Bester going to move up a little bit for the blue jacket. Ricardo on the pass will be there. Fantastic, Ricardo. Looking forward to see you soon.
Certainly, looking forward to seeing you. Neil Murgatroyd says Murray Mills and Mountain Lofts will still lead the black jacket pack. Velocity 1347. Interesting. That's I mean, if we were placing bets, Murray Mills and Mountain Lofts is a really good bird to place a bet on.
Yeah, good. So that's what I mentioned earlier. If you go now and you type the name in, and then you go and see how many, as I say, birds that clock race after race, out of the percentage of only 15 pigeons that was in the team originally, starting at race 1.
Right.
And how many of those pigeons is always in the higher velocities from the average of the loft. That's why they have their top ranking. It's not about just the first 2 pigeons and activate the right one. It's not about that.
Yes, it's not a gamble.
Even if I say activate 3 pigeons, they would have still lead.
Right.
So.
Thank you, Peter de Beer. I mean, we are very active, and you've got lots of insight on. We love that you watch every single week. So he says, Peter de Beer says, fancy of the race, Wilson, Kruger, and Schlebusch. We'll see about that. Interesting nomination there.
I say, good luck to my Guinness.
Yes, that's Aga Wahab. Aga, we want to know where you're watching from. So please, next time, write just where you're watching from, which country you're watching
Looks
from.
like from Middle East, if I can take a guess, but we'll be curious to see from where you're from. So yeah, that's exactly what we want to achieve. What the pigeon sport needs in the world is supporters.
Yes.
So fans. So if you can imagine the football or all the big sports, there's a lot of fan base. There's lots of people and they are the fan of this player or that team. And that's what we need in the pigeon sport. And therefore I'm so grateful for One Love Racing, because soon we will see that in One Love Racing, where our participants will get some fans that is following them and watching them. And therefore it is so crucial important for me why we encourage our participants to go and upload your pedigrees, because your pedigree is there to promote you. The pedigree is there to show what is in your mind of reading and thinking, what class type of fencer you are. And there's no embarrassment if it's not a first rank pigeon. Now, when your pigeon gets trained and it landed somewhere else, immediately that pedigree automatically will be off the AFRIKAPRO system. There's no way somebody can then pull that pedigree.
Right. So there's quite a few friends of ours watching from the land down under, Australia. Welcome. Always great to have the Australians here, whether it's for rugby or for the birds. So we're looking at Henry Francis and actually Liesel Oberholzer. Loft Enkamer for top 10 today for black jackets. Okay, Liesel.
Well done, Lisa. I think that might come through.
There's a fancier there from Northern Cape. HFJ Robin saying the velocity today will be 1260. She's watching from Northern Cape. Thank you, Robin. We'll keep an eye on your velocity there. And of course, Roscoe Klein, it's a huge fancier community there in the Cape. So guys, please do come through for the prize giving, the award ceremony.
And the final day, of course, Friday.
Yes, indeed.
So put that leave day in already now.
Yes.
We're expecting to have over 300 fancies there at Vergelegen. So you're welcome as day visitors. Just arrive, and the entry fee for the day will be 200 Rand a head.
So that's nothing.
And that includes your drinks and everything. So most welcome.
Guys, that is such a smash or a deal.
Yeah, the main thing is to put all fancies in a beautiful community with the world's best.
Certainly.
So there's your opportunity to meet and greet your famous fancier. I mentioned earlier Pigeon Sport's supposed to be fan-based, and there you can go and meet Alphonse Klaas that's already here in South Africa, waiting also for the final, as well as Jan Weymans, and you mentioned them. There are many of them coming through, the Black Jacket current leaders and the champions of the past. And we can hear out of their mouth what's their advice.
I like what Peter De Beer says here, predicting a 5-bird drop with a breakaway of 4 minutes. Very specific, Peter.
It will be great. Peter, let's have a look and see how far from right you are.
Now, 5-bird drop, Hendrik. Obviously, that means a breakaway group. What would that mean now for the rest? And what kind of outlook does that give the race? It's still a very, very challenging race that sets genetics apart. Is that what it means, having such a small leading group?
Yeah, Gocho, that's a complex answer to answer it, but let me try. A 5, let's say, call in that case a 5-bird drop.
Yeah.
If the pigeons are well trained and very fit, in my opinion, humble opinion, then you will get always quite a nice group of pigeons in a front pack.
Like we did last week.
Yes, all over. But now this group can be bigger if it's an easier race.
Right.
If it's a tailwind or not.
Interesting.
But that other side, it's so complex, because if the pigeons is not well trained, on an average race or even a fast race, you can have only 2 or 3 or 5 pigeons on a drop.
Right.
But then it's a fast race, but now the pigeons is not well trained. So there's a lot of factors that determine how many pigeons is in the front pack,
right,
or in that breakaway pack.
Right.
So that is the condition of that day. If it's a hot day, headwind, that will break up the pack.
Certainly.
If it's unfit pigeons in the one loft that participate, that break up the pack quite drastically. So what I don't appreciate actually sometimes is it's a breakaway winner of 18 minutes, 20 minutes.
Of course.
And then the pigeon was not really fit.
Yes.
If we really go back on a pedigree or in the history, he was sleeping out 2 times, and he actually gained his fitness by making mistakes.
Right.
By coincidence.
Right.
In Africa Pro, even to the final, we never had a breakaway winner. Only bird arriving on its own.
Indeed.
And that is an indication for me that the pigeons at least are in form and are fit. But saying that, on a longer distance, like 600 kilometer, all fans prefer a headwind, tougher conditions, that you have a smaller group in a front or in a pack. But that's exactly why Africa Pro come up with a series of races of 10, with rankings. Because our rankings reflect your success over the entire season. It's not just about that drop on a final.
Indeed.
It is about the story you're telling over the entire season of 10 races, over 3,500 kilometers. After today, as the pigeons will arrive, we're going to have...
Eyes to the skies, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we have an arrival of the birds.
Let's have a look if the first pigeon... Oh, yeah, here's the first pigeon. It's a nice pack in front of us.
It's a big pack, ladies and gentlemen.
508 kilometers. They just completed that. 2,950 kilometers so far for the season. We've got a winner. The winner is Velden Pruter. Well done to Dominic and Pruter from Namibia. Congratulations on winning the 508 kilometer again. I wonder if that pigeon also won the race before.
In second place, we've got JP Cilliers. In third place, Mountain Lost and Murray Mills. In fourth place, Team Van Os. Looking good.
Ganna's Family Loft in the 5th position from Germany. And Jakun Dani in the 6th. Congratulations. In 7th, the Cock Kevin and TNT. SG Steffel, 8th position. I wonder if that's his first brown jacket pigeon on that position. 10 is Pigeon Palace 2. Congratulations. And Pigeon Palace 2 in 11th. 10th and 11th.
Imagine that. Would you look at that? It's absolutely amazing. All right, so looking at the race results thus far, we've got Volga and Twitter in number 1, number 2, JP Cilliers and Beneke Lost. 3, Mountain Lost Murray. Team Van Ossen number 4. 5th place, Ganna's Family Lost. 6th, Yaku and Dani. 7th, Doc Kev TNT.
Congratulations. In the 12th, we got even a big fire from Switzerland. Can we have a look if we have already a fancy of the race? Fancy of the race. Pigeon Palace 2, they take it. This is the only fancy rank so far. I saw that. It's a 10th pigeon and 11th position.
They have
both the 2 pigeons in the front there, in the front pack. Congratulations.
Yes, indeed. Consecutive clocking there by Pigeon Palace. Very, very well done, guys. Well done. Okay, so we had a little bit of a breakaway.
So
We've got the singles coming in right now.
The
The second
breakaway
place.
was 12 pigeons in total. So in that breakaway pack, 12 pigeons, and let's see what's the gap between that. And there was the 13 pigeons just walking in now.
Yeah, so Peter de Geer actually double the what you'd said. You said breakaway of 5. We had a breakaway of more than that, 12, Peter.
12 pigeons, yes, yeah. Hawk Reinen, congratulations to Hawk Reinen as well, Eric Reinen. Can we have a look at the brown jacket leading? If Martin Steffel have already a pigeon in? No, that pigeon. Oh yes, his pigeon already arrived. We claim Martin Steffel might take now the lead on the. If Salva Rose is not clocking in any minutes from now, in 6 minutes, there's still 6 minutes gap between Martin Steffel pigeon and Salva Rose. Martin Steffel already climbed 1 position from the third.
It's a race of minutes and even seconds right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we watch the African skies. Anytime now we could have our second group touching and clocking. Who will it be? Keep your eyes to the sky. We have Pigeon Palace, fancier of the race. Well done once again to Pigeon Palace 2 with 2 consecutive clockings. Very well done. I mean, what does that say for Pigeon Palace? Absolutely amazing to have both birds already at this stage of the race. The first group.
And Blue Jacket, we've got 1 pigeon already in the top 15, and that is Pigeon Palace 2's pigeon. So they are currently ranked in the 9th position, as you can see, and they can keep climbing. Lara is that pigeon's name. Named after Lara. I wonder if that's for Laura, our admin lady. And she's currently ranked 9 and 25 minutes. And there's another pack of pigeons coming.
Huge group of pigeons right now.
Which might make a big change to our rankings. Let's have a look. So there's a group of pigeons just landed and are coming in, and let's see just how the rankings is there.
Some good movement there. Let's take a look.
Pools and Houter and Brad Brown again. Last week had a
position.
fantastic week. Arturo Rebels featuring again there. In the 16 and 17 Lambert family loft. 18 Kevin.
Good to see Kevin again, 18th. At
Yaku
19th,
Ndani.
Yaku Ndani, 20th place, let's see.
Mark de Kok again. These pigeons can do the long distances.
Certainly.
Mark de Kok also was 17 in the final. And Kupta Smolowski and Prunski from Poland. Well done. Marnes Nel got it. 24th pigeon. Canis family loft. 1 again. I wonder if they will rank Pietlacht and Sterkfontein. All these names coming up. This is the guys that can fly the long distances. This is the real race. That's a good race. Velocity right now 1316.
Right now around the loft, you can hear the whistling of the wind. And I wonder if that's going to affect the landing.
There's
So
already
it doesn't
3
look like
pigeons
it.
in the top 15, which already clocked. So Mark de Kok, he's now 15. If the bottom, you can see currently already move up 1 position, as well as the Velga Deadlifts. Already have a pigeon on the 10th position, Ace Blue Jacket right now as we speak, with Pigeon Palace 2 just climbing to the 8th position there. 5 positions moving up already to the top. But they right now as we speak, 23 minutes after the RMG single pigeon that's still leading the Blue Jacket Ace Pigeon competition as we speak. Canis family loft is now fancier of the race in the 2nd position, and with Pigeon Palace 2. So that's the only 2 fancies that already clock stop for the Black Jacket leaderboard. Canis family loft in the 30th position as well. Well done, Mike Ganis. Superb race.
Now he will be very, very happy watching from where he is right now. So 2nd position in fancy of the race, Ganis family lost. And in 1st position, Pigeon Palace. Absolutely amazing. Well done to you guys.
KDK from America, A Delta. America is doing good again. For the number or percentage of American pigeons that participate, they're doing phenomenally well this year. Winning the Blue Jacket last year. Ganis family loft ranking in the top 10 rankings quite a few times. Winning already 3 times fancier of the race so far for this year. And today again, 2nd fancier of the race. What a phenomenal season for him. Another pack of pigeons arriving.
This time it looks like a group of 12. Wow, absolutely amazing. Great packs, great landing as well. They're looking very, very happy. Beaks not wide open, wings not flopping on the ground, which means they've had a very, very good race. I mean,
Doc and Kevin TNT and a third fancy of the race, and Dieter Sieber and Kutz from Germany in the 4th position and the fancy of the race. There's our current brown jacket leaderboard. So only 2 minutes away from Martin Steffel, and he can move up to the brown jacket leader if Salva Rose is not making it anytime soon. So this is a type of race I believe Salva Rose can race as well. And then JP still here already in the 3rd position from Binnacle Loft. Currently in the 3rd position there. So the question is, can Salva Rose arrive in the first 2 minutes? Less than 2 minutes, 1 minute 50. That's a big question. And
certainly, that's the golden girl that we're looking for right now, Salva Rose. If she can clock in, there will be great movement in the standings.
okay, there the seconds is counting down now, less than a minute. Oh yes, 52 seconds. Martin Steffel is away from Salva Rose, so we're waiting for Salva Rose after 508 kilometers of racing. These pigeons has done cover all the distance through the heat, the skies of Africa, in these temperatures, with a headwind this start this morning, and just see, that's so actually magical to see what these pigeons pulling off. But most respect now, the eyes is glued to SG Steffel, pigeon on a brown jacket. That pigeon is born and bred in Germany. It shipped here to AFRIKAPRO and now is compete in the toughest conditions you can think of. Today that pigeons already fly almost 3,000 kilometers.
Incredible.
Many fans ask us, is that not too tough? Is it not too hard? And look what they're doing. They arrive again and now the battle is on. We're talking here seconds. They position themselves in a 2nd position brown jacket right now. We're waiting. If Salva Rose can't arrive in 4 seconds, Martin Steffel or SC Steffel from Germany, we're going to move into the brown jacket leading board of the 508 kilometers, but it's actually much more. And they move into the 1st position. Congratulations.
Go, SG Steffel, absolutely amazing. Would you look at that?
And now is the battle for the 2nd position between Salva Rose and JP Stillier and Binnacle Loft. They have also a phenomenal season so far, and they're currently ranked in a brown jacket on 3rd position and Pigeon Palace in a 4th. But they're fighting now for the 2nd position between Binnacle Loft and Salva Rose.
So FG Steffel will be besides themselves right now, watching the rankings and going right to the top. Absolutely amazing. Like you said, Henrik, an accumulative distance of almost 3,000 kilometers. That's just incredible.
Yeah, Tom van Gaver won the race last year and is today clock again in the top 50 rankings. Well done to Tom van Gaver and Alberto. And there's more pigeons arriving.
Beautiful pack over there. What for you, race director? What do the visuals on the landings look like to you?
No, the pigeons looking in top form. We're very happy. We know it's a tough race, but you can see there. Now our focus will be to recover them for the 600 kilometer. But the condition of those pigeons, we must remember they've just flew 508 kilometers through this blistering heat on a headwind this morning, and they just pull it off. And we're confident they can do it on a final as well of 601 kilometer in a week's time.
You know, Henrik, it's incredible that you get to see. I mean, these birds have not the longest lives, but within a year, you can see the growth of the pigeons. I mean, through some of our sprinter series, some of the birds were not looking as good as they are right now, going through the long distances. And I think that just speaks for the strength that they gain over the races as well.
That's why I want all our fans to come to the final of the basketing. They will see the shape and the form these pigeons are in. When they handle these pigeons in basketing, you can see these pigeons, we say they're blom now. Blom.
Yeah, yes.
They are beautiful. They're in full color.
Yes.
They're in top form. The weight is just right, and the feather quality is so good. That's why they can do what we see in front of us. Unfold there. Look at how they're arriving.
Beautiful.
And just not even cramping, nothing. And unbelievable. They just fly last week 480, right now 508, and next week 601 kilometers, a total of 3,570 kilometers for the season. Unbelievable what these little creatures is pulling off, and that's why we're so passionate about this sport.
Yes, indeed. I mean,
Velga, Rossen, Karl-Heinz from Germany again, 69 position. Congratulations to them. Team GMD and then Harry Wilson and crew. Can we have a look at the fancy of the race and the Blue Jacket rankings? Nils Godeman just clocked there. Wow, that's the top fanciest of the races so far for today. Congratulations, Mountain Marilov. Okay, they clocked now 15th for today. And we'll be very curious to see how our leaderboards is also then impacted by that. But there's Valja Bredenand Pigeon Palace, also featuring Valja Rossen, Dobrevi. Again, his name is up at top ranking. Burkalov. These are big contenders for a black jacket this past year.
Say that Burka was going to do very well.
Yeah, and Painters and Ulrich again, they pull it off. Helga Dietlefs and the Priya, they're doing they're very, very dangerous if it comes to long distances. But I'm very impressed with the Polish team.
Yes.
They pull it off in the beginning of the season. They were leading, and now coming to the end of the season with a small number of pigeons there, but look at what they're doing. Tas Malowski, those pigeons come out of the snow. Right. They come here into Africa and they can fly in this heat over 508 kilometers.
It's really quite phenomenal. I would love to meet them. And I'm really hoping they come down to Cape Town.
And to see Team van Os name up again there. He has a phenomenal season, not just in AFRIKAPRO, but in Netherlands and all over. So, yeah, that's genetics. They can just do it. There's the current brown jacket ranking. As we can see, we have the leader and still waiting for Salva Rose if she can keep and stay in the second position. And then JP still here, Benekelovs in the current third position. Okay, there's the black jacket ranking. So Mountain Loft remain in the first leaderboard there, and Pigeon Palace second position. Congratulations. They just have the pigeons. It's unbelievable how good Mountain Loft, how the consistency they just show throughout the season so far. Benekelovs and JP Sillier just moved into the second position of the brown jacket. Unbelievable. That's Afriku. That pigeon is called Afriku. Second brown jacket rank today. That pigeon was also second in today's race, but winning race 6. Race 6 was that hot race, very tough race. Yes. Just show you the consistency. That's why I say this genetics is unbelievable. And look there now, third position, Pigeon Palace 2. And they also just move up into the black jacket standings. Unbelievable. Well done to Afriku Pigeon, currently in the second brown jacket position. That is actually an equal winner today and winning race 6. So these tough races where it matters most, it's just that type of pigeon that can pull it off. And yeah, so right now as we speak, Germany, Team Germany, Martin Steffel also had the big ace pigeon last year in Germany itself, and there it shows to you. The quality speak for himself.
Yes, indeed.
Leading today the endurance series. What a phenomenal performance. Pigeon born and bred there in Germany, and there's Team Germany here, 12th position as well. And congratulations. And Belga Dietlefs as well, 11th, 13th. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing what the international fanciers are doing, you know. I mean, they're leading the pack as well as closing it off on top 10. So yeah, well done. The international fanciers really bringing it to the South African competition.
Yeah. So Mountain Murray Mills, I just clocked another pigeon, but as I mentioned, they've been very, very consistent so far for a year. In the black jacket, they're still leading it, and now they already lead it for race 8. They was the leaders. In race 7, they were the leaders already in that position. In race 6, they also, after the tough race, they move up. But even before that, in race 5, from race 5 on, they were leading the black jacket competition already now for 4 consecutive weeks from race 5 onwards. Congratulations, and the big question is, will they stay in that position on a tough final that we predict for next week, Friday?
All right, let's take a look at the black jacket rankings right now. Starting from number 15, we have Pigeon Palace. In number 14, Loft Incoma. 13, Webster Loft. And 12, well-known name, Kings and Geeslo as well. Umbirko Loft, which was nominated earlier on. And then 10th position, Kevin.
Yeah, ninth position, Feather Lofts already. They're still waiting now for the second pigeon to come. So the fancies that already have the pigeons in there is Kings and Geeslo, Umbirko Loft, and Kevin. And then, of course, we see Harry Wilson just clocked his second pigeon. So he's in a 7th position right now as we speak, with Hans Paul Esse as well. They clocked both the 2 pigeons, currently in the 5th position, but they might move up another position in case Alvin Besser don't clock his second pigeon right now, in any second from now. And then Mountain Lofts, the second team of Mountain Loft, move up another position. There you can see it into the 4th position. Mountain and Marion Moles and RKS have 2 teams. Both the 2 teams, they enter into 2025 Africa Pro season, put up in the top 4 rankings. What a phenomenal performance. This is world class, and we got to respect that for what they are, for being very, very consistent throughout. I want to encourage everyone to go and see how many pigeons they have race after race in the top rankings. In anything 1100 and above, the pigeons will be there. Valga Deetlefs, again, a name moving up to the top in the end of the season when it matters most on a long distance. This is the type of pigeon that can do this, that can pull it off. Congratulations on the Priya Deetlefs on a 3rd position black jacket ranking, going to the final of Africa Pro. Unbelievable. And I know they are a big factor on a final. They can fly a final. They showed it to us in the past, and wonder how it will unfold on next week, Friday, in Vergelegen, Cape Town. Looking forward to see all of them there.
And now taking a look at the blue jacket rankings. Really incredible. We've got Ahmed Kavada in 15th position. In 14th position, Pigeon Palace 2. 13th, Mike Ganna's Family Loft. In 12th position, Deep Laughter Fontaine. 11th position, Len Knutzer.
Yeah, so Len Knutzer is a phenomenal season. Triple X Factor, I think that might be his. Triple X Factor was winning 3 times.
Yes.
Equal winner so far this year. And today he come up actually very nicely again. I'm very curious to see if that's not Triple X Factor that's currently ranked there in the 11th position. Let me just have a quick look. Okay, no, this Bomb Squad. But Triple X Factor is also a type of pigeon we must keep in sight. In my opinion, that is one of the world-class pigeons coming out of Triple X, winning the final. And Triple X Factor was featuring quite well earlier this season. And now we're going to a final, and he's coming back in form. So very good to see that from Len Knutzer now. And in 11th, we've already got a Bomb Squad there as well, ranked in the blue jacket. But Mark de Kok and friends in the 10th, 8th position currently as we speak, and it can even move more positions up. This is world class. This is the best pigeons right now as we speak in Africa Pro. Congratulations to them, and then also Team De Weert. Dr. De Weert in the 9 right now as we speak, and Burton Andreas in 8th position. They're new to Africa Pro, but they show to us they've got a steal, they've got a pigeons that matters most. Berger and Karlu on the 7th position, and the 6th Valga Deetlefs. They got a pigeon up there, the second pigeon in the blue jacket, 2 of them, 6th and 2nd. Then Harry Wilson, Kruger and Schallenbusch, Pigeon Palace 2, they already clocked their pigeon. And Webster Loft is just waiting for his pigeon. So he sits on the edge of his chair, seconds is counting off. We're waiting for that pigeon. He already moved 1 position down, while Valga Deetlefs just moved 1 up, 2 positions already up. But an RMG single is also waiting still for their pigeon that need to come in. So Royal Lily is still out. Untouchable already clocked. So in that second position, will Velga Deetlefs in the Priya taking the blue jacket today, going into the final. Just show us what type of pigeons they've got. And then also they have on a 5th position. So if you're looking at the blue jacket rankings, you will see that Velga Deetlefs and the Priya putting 2 ace pigeons up there in the top 5 rankings, and it might even move up higher. With Pigeon Palace 2, a pigeon perhaps I just mentioned earlier on, that's Lara, that also done so good. Pigeon Palace 2. Okay, so we got Kingsley Gijslow online, and they had a phenomenal race so far. So, sorry for that. So we got Gijslow online. Let me see just quickly if we can get him online. Hi, Gijs.
Hi,
Congratulations! It's about time to have you online again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's about time.
No, but you had actually yet again a phenomenal season so far. Coming out of last year, you've been on the top of the leaderboard most of the season. This year, you've been in the top rankings throughout. Just show the world you got the pigeons. I'm surprised that not everyone is already at your loft buying some pigeons there for next season. But just off that note, congratulations taking the fancy of the race again today.
Yeah, no, Hendrik, we're very privileged, and like I said, it's about time for us to do that again.
How do you feel the way now forward? You was the only team last year going into the final top 10 rankings that didn't fall out of the top rankings on a black jacket standings today. Are you confident going into the final? Maybe it's an unfair question, but I see your pigeon Lara is also that clock for Pigeon Palace 2. She's ranked 4th black jacket as it stands, but she can even move up to a 3rd now. She can even move into the 2nd position blue jacket right now as we speak.
Yeah, we're confident. Lara is a good bird. She's bred out of that famous Kittel pair of ours, not a direct daughter, granddaughter of the special Kittel and the 95 hen. So a very good bird. If it's not a absolute slaughter like it was last year, then I think we stand a chance.
Yeah. So soon after we're going to keep our eyes on the weather forecast for Friday. Hopefully it's a fair race like today. And it will be beautiful if the velocity is like around the 1300 in that area. It's like very much, if we have the same races today, it will be a nice race. And I see Lara itself is also 3rd, if I'm right, on a brown jacket as well. And so she's also in an Ace Pigeon Brown Endurance Series, but also now you 2nd black jacket. I think, what's your opinion? Is that not a better position to go into a final because it's harder to fall from the top?
Like Webster said to you, better to come from behind than sitting. Last year we were 8 weeks consecutively at the top, and we were 2nd, 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
So better to come from behind, much better.
Yeah, no. But King, guys, congratulations from my side. Just so that the world know, you still hold the record for the guy that lead the black jacket for most races, as well as for the fancy with the most accolades in one single season. and to be for 2 consecutive years. Now it's the third consecutive year in the top rankings. The story goes on and on, winning the very first Africa Pro final back in 2022. And from there on, you've just been in the top 5 rankings every year, going into a final with 2 teams. And here already we can see how you rank now for the Black Jacket, laying second, going to the final. So well done and congratulations.
Thank you, Hendrik.
Well,
All the
See you
best.
there in Cape Town.
I hope
Yes,
so,
please.
to give the big trophies over. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all the
Bye-bye.
best. Keep well. Cheers.
I think if there's anything we can take away from Gijs is how important it is to register your pedigree as well. You know, because I mean, speaking to him, it's just absolutely amazing the amount of knowledge that he has, and obviously he's definitely registered his. So
Yeah, Kingsley Gijs is an example for all of us. Just look at their good results and performance. They're not ashamed of their pigeons, and they will have all their pedigrees uploaded
yes,
before the race 1 started.
right.
And yes, it's fair if there's 1 or 2 pigeons not doing so good, but that help us now to commentate on that pigeon. So by the final, we do our prep work, and we know we have more depth to talk about.
Right.
But yeah, if you just look at that results of Kingsley Gijs over the time period since Africa Pro start and throughout, how well they've done is unbelievable, very good. But here's more pigeons coming, and we're still battling the position out for the second position on our ace pigeon competition. And RMG single, we're still waiting in big anticipation for that. But Webster lost clock now eventually, so he's might be very happy to be 4th now on a blue jacket. So yeah, again, it's going to be very tense, stressful there, the final. The emotion's going to be high like always, because that is whole season that just boils down to that moment of truth in the
Yes,
final. And none of us know how it will unfold, and only the pigeons will tell, and the clock will tell and do the talking the day of the final. So really looking forward to have everyone online. For those that can't make it, streaming, follow Africa Pro. Please like our channel and follow us to see more of that, because if you do so, that make it worth it for us to keep doing what we're doing and to even keep improving on what we're doing for the pigeon sport.
And talking about clocking, obviously we have that competition that we're running to see which would be the winning velocity. Obviously the competition is officially closed for today because we do have the winning velocity. So we're taking a look, our team will take a look and see when we determine who has the closest velocity, and you will be getting a free bird entry.
Yeah. So that will be very interesting to see who was right with the winning velocity. We will announce that also on our Facebook, so we will let them know. But there is Pigeon Palace then take the second, Webster lost on a third. RMG single, our ace pigeon of last week, still didn't arrive, the first position, but Lily, we're still waiting for her. And Velge Detlefs is start moving up there and battling out for the 4th position. Let's see if they can move into that. And Andreas have the 6th position. Well done to Andreas. And Mark de Kok in 7 ace. And Wilson, Kruger and Schellenboos in the 8th. And Burger and Schellen in the 9th position. Still waiting there for their pigeon. Then Knudsen now move into the 10th. Dieplaag de Sterkfontein also been up in the rankings. Been equal winner on a final in the past back in 2023. Being very good pigeons as well. We dominated many one-loft races. Canis Family Loft in 12th position. Team De Weert now clocked it as well, 13. Well done to them. And Ahmed from Turkey, congratulations. The number of percentage of pigeons coming from Turkey to be ranked in the top 15, 14th position there. Ahmed, well done. Congratulations to that. That is pigeons of world class. And M10 well in deck as well into the 15th position.
And we still have some good visuals there of our pigeons landing and walking straight through the clock and into the lofts, looking very, very happy. I think that's always something we like to see.
Yeah, no, that's very pleased to see the condition of the pigeons today. That gave us confidence for the final. Of course, Ron will immediately start with our recovery program and make sure the pigeons are ready for the final. And that is within a few days. As I say, some of the fans has already arrived from overseas here in South Africa.
Yes, experiencing the full
Alphonse Klaas is already, I believe, in Cape Town. But we want to encourage all our participants and fanciers, any fancier, any pigeon lover is welcome to join us today on Vergelegen Wine Estate in Cape, Somerset West. On the final, entry fee is only R200 per person. But There's lots of things to give out for free, and we will have also a single bird free entry competition. So you have a standard chance to win free entries and so on as well. So come and enjoy pigeon racing at its best for One Love Racing across the world.
And you get to rub shoulders with the absolute best of the one loved world. You know, I mean, these are the guys that are in top 10. Most of them are definitely going to be there. Last year was very, very, very exciting to see all the guys. And those of you who are hoping to walk away with a trophy, please make sure that you bring an extra suitcase, because I won't lie to you, Africa Pro trophies are massive.
Yeah, no, that's going to be very exciting. That's the ultimate, it's the pinnacle of pigeon racing for us, is the final. Way more pigeons coming in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we promised some amazing movement in the standings, and we have it right now. So let's take a look at the standings, the current standings. Starting with the race results. In position number 10, we've got Pigeon Palace 2. Well done to you. In position number 9, Murray Brothers. In position number 8, SG Steffel. And in position number 7, welcome, Doc Kev TNT.
And Yaku and Dani, phenomenal race for them on number 6 position there for today. And Mike Gannett Family Law from Loft 3 was in the 5th. And Team Van Os just showed to us again, they've got the pigeons when it matters most. Mountain Murray will stay in the top there, at the 3rd pigeon already in for today. So they have an equal winner. And all these pigeons we see today in front of us on the race results, all 12, there were 12 of them. Pigeon Palace have 2 in that front pack.
Right.
So this is the front pack what we see. The first pigeon walking in for today was Velga and Truter and JP Sillier and Beneke in the 2nd position with AFRIKAPRO, that also winning race 6. So the pigeon that was 2nd today was now also 2nd on the brown jacket, blue jacket, and also 1st in race 6, a very, very tough race. So this race is actually an AFRIKAPRO race and a Pigeon Palace 2 race as well. Because there we can see Fencer of the race, Pigeon Palace 2 took it. They got 2 pigeons in the front pack today. And now they move up to the second black jacket, which we will see soon. But that's why I say, when it comes to the long races, Hoto, is that what matters most is to make sure you can stay on top.
Right.
And this is what we see today in that results here there. As I say, Mountain Marilov just showed that to us today. But starting here at the bottom is Pretoria Rebels. They are now in the 10th position today. So they've also been very consistent. They've been even in the top rankings for quite some time now.
Right.
And they just dropped 1 position today to the 10th. And Berkaloft moving up 3 positions back into the top 10. He's no new name to the top 10, being the second black jacket back in 2023 after the final, and last year going into the final, second black jacket. So very good from Umberka, very consistent when he gets tougher and longer. Kevin in the 8, no new name to that as well. Our standings here, Harry Wilson Kruger drop it down a few positions today from the 2nd to the 7th position, but still that's world class to stay in the top 10. Hans-Paul Esser, Efficient Loft just moved 2 positions down. And now currently in the 6th position, and Alvin Bester also now in the 5th position, moving 3 positions down. Mountain Marilov just showed to us they got the right pigeons this year. This is the type of pigeons for AFRIKAPRO. They're moving up 2 positions and also leading the black jacket right now, staying up there in the whole season so far. They almost feel like untouchable. Velge Deadlifts, they make a comeback. They're coming up 5 positions today. So that was exactly the race they need. And then Pigeon Palace 2 showing their steel today, taking the fancy of the race. And they're moving up also 5 positions. Secure them the 2nd position for the black jacket, with Mountain Marilovs leading the black jacket now for 5 consecutive weeks. Well done.
Well done to them, certainly. And then looking at the blue jacket rankings for race 9, in 10th position, we've got Gannis Family Lost, and very, very interesting name over there. Time to get up and show the world. Position 9, Deep Laughter and Stekfontein. Position number 8, we've got Len Lutzer with Bomb Squad. Clearly, he's a rugby fan as well, Len Lutzer. In position number 7, Wilson Kruger and Schleb Bush. In 6th position, Mark de Kock and Friends with Laser Level.
Yeah, in the 5th position, Andreas. Well done to him as well, showing the world he got a pigeon, got a genetics to have the 5th best pigeon in the world right now in AFRIKAPRO after almost 3,000 kilometers of racing, 57.5 hours of constant racing. This is the rankings what we see in front of us. Congratulations to that. This is world class. Velge Deadlifts in the pre, putting 2 pigeons in the top blue jacket ace pigeon competition there in the top 4 rankings. What a performance. And Webster Loft secured the 3rd position there, moving just down 1 position for today, but still perfect position to go into a final with Pigeon Palace 2. Lara in the 2nd position today. Also, Lara might have a big name after winning today, or being up in the top rankings today, or equal winner as well as on other races. Very good for her. And then, as I say, untouchable, currently leading the ace pigeon going into the final as the leader of the AFRIKAPRO for 2025. And the final will finally determine if Untouchable can stick it out.
Whoever named Untouchable clearly is a visionary. But let's take a look at the brown jacket rankings. In 10th position, we have Bert and Andreas. In 9th position with Simbin, we've got Doc Kev TNT. 8th position, TKT represents Velga, Detlefs, and Duprier. And then Houdini, the slippery one, and now at number 7, that's for Dostane Racing Pigeons.
And number 6 is Rajan from Pigeon Palace 1. And then for Yoko and Dani is DTR Trade JS Kittel. And Salva Rose did make it back home today. We're very happy for that as well. She's now in the 4th position. Great. Brown jacket is still well deserved. It's a solid pigeon, as well as those names we're seeing currently there in the top. Lara in the 3rd position. And AfriQ coming today, winning race 6, coming today 2nd, and 2nd brown jacket leader. And also in the blue jacket rankings, have a good standing there. Well done to AfriQ from Jeneke Lofs and JP Sol here, and Martin Steffel and Franz Steffel from Germany, who got ace pigeon dominance in the entire country of Germany. Just showed to us and the world in AFRIKAPRO, they can do it on the endurance series when it matters most on the long distances. They have the best endurance pigeon out there today, and leading and going like that into the final. Let's hope that pigeon can stay and stick it out there to show to the world Germany got the pigeons.
Well, there we have it for our rankings. We just like to say a huge thank you once again to Versalager for being our sponsor today. So we'd like to wrap up officially. Hendrik, any last words from the race director?
I want to just say, if you want to be part of Africa Pro, do your planning, talk to other fancies that do good in Africa Pro, and now's the time to pair up your pigeons. Pair up your pigeons, make sure you get the 10th of November shipment out of Europe, America, Canada, all over the world. Those shipments is going to come. And of course, the 30th of November, I will be at Kassel show in Germany. It's going to be big and massive. Make sure there I will also accept your pigeons for intake. But in the meantime, the big thing we're looking all forward to is our final next week. We want to encourage all our participants, fans across the world, to log into our live stream, follow us, where the world's best fancy will be crowned and the very best pigeon. And looking forward to a fantastic week. Soon, some of our clients already arrive here at Pala Pala. We're going to enjoy game drives and the best of Africa, what we can offer them. So all the best till next.
Yes, well, we'd like to conclude Versalager semi-finals for Africa Pro 2025. Once again, we will see you next week. Till then, keep your eyes in the Africa Pro skies.